going to $140,000.
Today's the day. MicroStrategy stock is getting listed on the S&P 500. It meets every single possible criteria, and today is the first day where it becomes possible that MicroStrategy is included in the S&P 500. And this couldn't actually be more bullish. There is no good reason to be bearish on the price of Bitcoin. A MicroStrategy listing on the S&P 500 would mean forever consistent buying pressure on the stock of MicroStrategy as people buy S&P 500 shares. This would mean MicroStrategy can create more shares and buy more Bitcoin. And if MicroStrategy lists on the S&P 500 today, the whole market is gonna blast off. You're gonna be too late and you're gonna wish you bought more. One thing this does mean is it's pretty likely that dominance is about to switch back in Bitcoin's favor, and Ethereum may start stagnating if Bitcoin starts ripping. Now, we've got a lot to discuss today, and every day I say the same thing. If we hit 1,000 likes on this video, I'll give away $10,000 to somebody who leaves a comment, whether they're bullish, bearish, or anything, in the comment section on today's video. Now, you're quite welcome to subscribe as well, but I'd appreciate a comment and a like, and let's crack on with today's video. And first things first, MicroStrategy has bid to be part of the S&P 500, and today is the first day that MicroStrategy could potentially be added to the S&P 500. A decision is expected within 24 hours as to whether MicroStrategy will be included, and if they are, it will generate consistent buying pressure forever on the stock of MicroStrategy, which in turn is consistent buying pressure forever on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin this morning, well, I really think it's looking perky. I actually got stopped out yesterday because I bid yesterday. Like I said, I was going to set my orders somewhere around 109. I bid around 109 yesterday, and then it kept dropping, and it triggered my stop loss, and then it's run all the way up since. But I actually rebid recently around 111, and so my entry now is at 110 on the price of Bitcoin for the trading challenge. But it's not the only trade that we've got open. We have the pump trade. This morning also in the Discord, I fired in a Solana trade, which is now $539 in a profit. We're doing a really good job on this challenge at the moment. So what's the account balance? 61,603. I loaded this up before today's stream, so it's not quite as accurate. I think it was at 59 when I was loading this up. But basically, from this, what you can see is on the trading challenge, well, because what we're doing, if you're not following the challenge at the moment, we've been doing $10,000 to $1 million, and currently we're doing an amazing job, absolutely amazing. You can see from this, we had one absolute terrible day there where I lost 46 grand in a day, but the point is, I was up at 100 already, and I don't struggle, to be honest. Once we're past $20,000, I have 100% confidence that I am going to go on to achieve what I'm setting out to achieve. I'm not here wasting my time. We're going to get to $1 million. To have built $61,000 now out of just $10,000, I think is very impressive on its own. But it'll get better, I'm telling you. And if you want to join the $10,000 to $1 million trading challenge, join Crypto Saving Expert. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. Scroll down on the website, click on the monthly plan here, join this, use code 50OFF, and it'll make it £50 a month. We don't get ever any complaints. Everyone likes it, and at the moment everyone's making quite a lot of money. Like, even if you started the challenge with $1,000, you're currently sat on $6,000. But anyway, back to the price of Bitcoin. I want to do some Bitcoin analysis at the start of today's video, just looking at these resistance and support levels before we go on to today's crypto news. I know we normally do it the other way around, but today I want to try something a little bit different, where we do a small part of analysis at the start of today's video, then we go on to the news, and then we finish off by including both of the two together to see how the news potentially could change those decisions. But currently we've already covered part of the news, which being in Michael Saylor, which is very, very, very bullish news. I think that we can kind of take the opinion here that we are just going to start pumping. We have been crushing downwards in the past couple of days. We have been liquidating over the past 24 hours quite aggressively, to be honest. If we start out by looking at the most recent Solana chart, Solana has been pressurizing this lower range here, liquidating people. Not billions of dollars, but hundreds of millions of dollars being liquidated. However, it's creating quite a vacuum up here around $220. Between $215 and $220 is a huge volume vaccine. There's a huge volume vacuum on Ethereum. Again, look how bright and juicy those liquid. Wow, that's huge. That's a big level of liquidation. Yeah, that's going to hit 100%. There's no way that doesn't hit. So Ethereum, again, looking at these charts here, big magnets to the upside right now. Unless something politically happens, it's looking very much like the only one that's got a big magnet on the downside is Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has the most bullish news out of anything. And from my perspective right now, this is one of the most important charts that you can be paying attention to, which is Bitcoin dominance. This is the value of Bitcoin versus the value of everything else. When this chart is going down, that means altcoins are going up. But something that Bitcoin dominance has done in the past 24 hours now is actually broken the downtrend, and it looks like it's going to rise back up to about 60%. This points massively towards a Bitcoin pump, not an altcoin pump, and potentially suggests that we should be buying and longing Bitcoin, not buying and longing altcoins right now, which is why I am long on Bitcoin, but I'm also long on altcoins. And of course, I'm not getting rid of the pump trade. The Farcoin trade, I said I'm not closing it in a loss, so we're just going to sit on that until it's back at break even. These will come good. There's pointless taking a loss on them, but for new trades, really predominantly be looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one that we're looking to take positions on today, because Bitcoin price here, you can see this. It's doing exactly what you would expect it to do. Look at that perfect megaphone pattern playing out here, and it'll have the most aggressive run back upwards that you've seen in a while. It'll just go like this all the way back up to the top of here, $125,000 purely on. It doesn't even matter if MicroStrategy, like again, all the lines line up perfectly here. Look at that. It'll happen regardless of whether or not MicroStrategy actually lists. As long as they don't list and there isn't a rejection, the price should, in theory, just rally on the expectation that MicroStrategy is about to list. And then when they do list, you will see Bitcoin get rejected, and that could be realistically Thursday next week, because this is a 2-hour chart. This is a long period of time, but I'm expecting a significant rally today in the price of Bitcoin. It's broken the downtrends on the lower time frames. It looks really good right now, and that's why I'm positioned in this long position here, and hopefully, for the challenger's sake, it continues to print. And of course, if you are interested in trading, check out the link for BLOFIN in today's video description. If you trade on BLOFIN and you make a deposit and you start trading and you do pretty decent volume on there, and again, volume's really easy to do in the past month. I'm not even joking. I put a screenshot of it on my Instagram the other day. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I have an Instagram account linked in today's video description. But I put a screenshot of my trading volume. I've done $550 million of trading volume in the past 30 days. If you do $100 million on BLOFIN, they'll give you a ROLEX. You may as well do the volume. $100 million of trading volume is achievable with a $10,000 account. It might take you 30 days, but you've got time. And BLOFIN is like what BYBIT was in the early days, where you didn't need KYC. Everything is listed there, and it's up and coming pretty quick. So volume and liquidity is very strong on there. So check out BLOFIN. You'll find a link for it in today's video description. And if you use that link, this becomes available to you. And just as a bonus, after I've covered off today's news, we're also going to discuss altcoins. And there is one altcoin in today's video that I want to raise a very bullish case to you on, that I expect is going to perform incredibly well throughout the course of the next 6 months. Probably doing between a 500% and 1000% gain. I'm not joking. It's not an exaggeration. It's my complete realistic expectation of how this token will perform. However, for the news, Dogecoin may see the first ever ETF launch next week. Dogecoin is going to get an ETF at some stage, much the same as Solana is going to get an ETF at some stage. And the two coins that do have ETFs right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum, those two are outperforming everything. So we can be pretty confident that if the Dogecoin ETF is approved and the Solana ETF is approved, both of them are going to do really well. And it's one of the reasons why Solana is my biggest holding. I hold more Solana than I do Bitcoin or anything. The NFT market is heating back up as well. And something that particularly excites me about the NFT market is CHIPPY. Now, for those of you that don't know, CHIPPY is a coin that I actually created. It's been going down a little bit recently, but it's doing pretty well overall. It's only a $2 million market cap, but I created this coin, and I've been working on this coin for a very long time now, just as kind of like a hobby thing. But the hobby's turning slightly serious at this point, and we're about to launch an NFT collection. Part of the reason we're doing this is because we see this data on a daily basis within my business, that NFTs are actually building up some serious momentum right now, and I've talked about it about 2 months ago. On the NFTs that I bought 2 months ago, I'm up about 300% in a profit. I have friends that are going out and buying up CryptoPunks. Nobody's buying Bored Apes, I want to point that one out. But like Pudgies, CryptoPunks, everyone seems pretty interested in them, and volume is definitely picking up in general in the NFT space. With regards to CHIPPY, when the NFT raise happens, the NFT will work as part of the ecosystem that has already been built at this point and is going to launch soon, and I expect the price of CHIPPY, which is $2.3 million, it's absolutely nothing, to do very well because it's got a massive treasury. In other news though, Justin Sun's WLFI wallet has been blacklisted listed after it sent $9 million of tokens. Justin Sun sent 50 million tokens straight to HTX, the exchange that he owns. Now, my only thought on the WLFI thing is, I'm not touching it. Justin doesn't need $9 million. Justin is a multi-billionaire. He doesn't care about that. He's just creating liquidity on HTX so that people come over there and stake their coins. But I just don't think that investing in political related cryptocurrencies is the best and most long-term idea. I think that ultimately it does end in tears, regardless of how much upside price action there can be on these things. Maybe it does a 10x. If it did do a 10x, by the way, you've got to understand how big the market cap would be. It currently has an $18.5 billion FDV. The token doesn't do anything and it's been trading downwards since launch. There is currently 90% of the coins left to be unlocked. And Trump only has 3 years left on his term before everyone stops caring, and then there's a different party that gets in charge again, and that different party makes a bunch of rules and makes everything like this illegal again. That's what I say about long term. It might be fine as far as ideas and projects go, but I'm just not interested in anything political, and I think that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin is so successful, because it's not political. Bitcoin is a libertarian asset. It's not made to profit its creator. It's made to liberate wealth. This was made to profit its creator. They wouldn't be doing it if they weren't making money. However, for the traditional news today, Asia Pacific markets mostly higher after Trump formalizes lower Japanese auto tariffs, coming in with a 15% tariff today on Japan. Tokyo also agreed to invest $550 billion in projects selected by the US government, and it looks like, again, Trump got an amazing deal. Absolutely amazing deal. All of these deals, from America's point of view, I don't understand why the Supreme Court would rule against these things. America must be making so much money off this. But as I always say, certainty in markets means that people make more consistent and better decisions, leading to more consistent and longer sustained growth. When you see stuff like this is very bullish. It's certain. He's also giving concessions to big manufacturers on the tariffs, allowing them to basically not pay them in order to keep their cost of goods competitive with other costs of goods from the US. But as this period of time with tariffs comes to an end, so to speak, where we're getting through quite a lot of these deals at this point in time, I know it's been a long time, what we're getting is certainty. And that certainty is timing itself exactly what we expected it would do, because we expect pump in October, pump in November, don't know about December, but typically the back end of a year is very good for cryptos. Everyone gets locked back inside, it gets cold outside and starts raining, and so like it's doing right here right now. I always say it's sunny in Thailand. It's not. It's absolutely dumping it down right now. We're in the middle of a rainstorm. But the rainstorms here only last 5 minutes. It'll be sunny by the end of the video. Anyway, there is only 12 days left now until the next FOMC meeting. Really not a long time. The numbers came in today at 99.3% chance. So we're still having a very, I mean, it couldn't be higher, really. It could be 0.7% higher, but we couldn't be a lot higher in terms of a chance of getting a rate cut at the next. All of the stars are aligning. We're seeing MicroStrategy, S&P 500, rate cuts are about to happen. I mean, it's the kind of time where somebody, traditionally in government recently, would decide to drop a big bomb or start a war or say something stupid in the press, and then the market would start dumping again. It seems like one of those times could just happen, like all of a sudden, because right now, every single thing has lined up to create this giant next rally up that we're going to get. And the only thing that can stop it is idiots in politics. So banking on the fact that there aren't any idiots in politics, which there definitely are, I want to show you this chart here. This is the price of Bitcoin on a daily chart showing the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of the range to the top of the range. You can see, again, like I always say, we came down, we retested 0.618 on the Fibonacci. That's the solid retracement range. And you can see here on the VRVP at the side, which is the volume range, volume profile, that shows us where the peak ranges of liquidity are in the order books right now. And for that range is sitting at 118. Currently, we're 111. So we're about $7,000 away from this level. But it honestly wouldn't take much of a stimulation in the market this morning to really get prices heading in that direction. From my expectations, and like I've been doing a lot of analysis on this recently, looking at order flows, everything. I know the prices have been going down of altcoins, but I think it's because people are cashing out some alts and Bitcoin dominance is going to start getting heavier and start going up. Hopefully that leads to a price rise in the price of Bitcoin and not just a drop in the price of altcoins. But certainly it looks like the market is on the turn here and the Bitcoin dominance is definitely going to start rising. We are currently tussling with the rebreak of the 0.5 level on the Fibonacci, and then the next target becomes up here at $114,000. But it's that break there. Like if you don't have confidence and you're looking for 100% positive success rate on a position, you're looking for the break of 114 for a long up to 118. Should you really be trading this range here? Well, if we drop down onto the lower time frame, yes, technically this is also a long position, but it would be really nice to get a slightly lower entry like the 109 that we saw just this morning. You could get an entry down at 109, that'd be amazing in terms of like a great place to get a long position from. Easier said than done, of course, but right now it'd be around 108. Could we go down to absolutely Bitcoin's price could go back down to $108,000. That would be ultimately the bottom of this volume range that you can see here. What Bitcoin is tussling with right now is a re-break back into the previous trading range, which is sitting around here. So basically what we could say is about $112,000. If it breaks $112,000, it's very likely going to go back up to the next level of resistance, which would sit around here, around $114,000, $115,000. I'm very expecting that this happens. I think there's so many stars aligning for it right now, but I wonder how all of this translates over onto the Ethereum chart. Well, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and Ethereum versus Bitcoin, again, looking very bullish recently, but it's been declining. I want to say bullish recently. Look at the hourly chart. It's been absolutely ripped, but we're forming another bull flag that looks like it could break to the upside. I, however, just not got the most confidence that Ethereum has always managed to hold its gains, and I think a drop down to this level here, although it wouldn't be catastrophic, would just mean that the price of Bitcoin could potentially increase and the price of Ethereum could stay the same. But that's looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. When we look at Ethereum versus US dollars, it doesn't look as good, nowhere near as good as what Bitcoin is looking right now. But you've got to have confidence when no one else has confidence, so you can all equally argue that position. You can currently see that if we look at the VRVP, there is so little volume after this range. We're currently at the peak volume range, and the next peak volume range sits down here around $3,651. Now that would be a colossal drop from where we're currently sitting. What would that be? 15-16% drop. It'd be huge. Can that happen? Yes. Will it happen? Probably not. No, but we do have, you've got to respect these gaps in liquidity. So as soon as you've lost level of 4174, it will just nuke, and it might recover in 5 minutes. But the point is, that's why we're avoiding high leverage in this market. We want to be taking a position here that we can scale into in the eventuality that basically, say the price gets to here, you take your entry here for a long position. You might want to scale in again when you break this resistance level. So you scale in again here, and then at that point, the price runs up here. We're looking for a move similar to what we've seen in the recent times, where it just moves a lot in such a short period, because it's gonna do one of them again very soon. So when it does do it, already be in a small position. You don't need to be in a big one. A big one just creates risk. It creates nervous, creates your skittishness. It makes you open and close the trade a few times, generating fees. Those fees are lost profits, essentially. Anyone remember Lost Profits? They were a band. The guy that was in charge of Lost Profits did something naughty with a child. Anyway, we don't need to get onto that as a topic. That was, I remember that story from when I was growing up, thinking, why would you want to do that? Anyway, quickly changing the topic, the stock market closed up very significantly yesterday. Amazon doing 4.2% throughout the course of the day. Like, stock market, very green day. Good to see. Shows confidence. Good for Bitcoin as well. Sure, we have a little bit of a wobbler overnight. Overnight wobblers are fine, as long as they don't turn into the next day wobblers. They tend to be pretty terrible. So right now, from my perspective anyway, it's a bullish retest on the Ethereum. You've got to call it as it is. It is a bullish retest on the 1 hour if we get the bounce upwards here. If we get the bounce upwards here, be back up to 4,472. And after that, to be honest, it'll just rip straight back to the upside again. It'll just start triggering these liquidation levels, like what we've talked about with regards to the liquidation heat maps up here. As soon as you start getting into these ranges, there is so much liquidity buildup, especially if you look at like the 3-month charts. There's so many big fat white lines on these things. Maybe not on Bitcoin necessarily, with it having gone down so much recently. Those lines aren't under pressure because it's been this slow, steady decline. So it's not generating the same volume recently as what you would expect. But Solana's got some big fat lines on it. And I know I say I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think expectations of Bitcoin dominance rising. More so that I expect Bitcoin to start taking lumps back out of Ethereum. And I expect Solana to go on its own little charge right now and start taking out these high levels. There's just so much money locked up inside Solana right now. I wonder how it looks on the 1 month liquidation heat map. Yeah, you can see 220. Key level, that billions of dollars of liquidations up at 220. Also billions of dollars down here at 170, but definitely favoring the upside. Much as I favor the upside on Chippy, and Chippy at a 2 million market cap is undervalued. It's as simple as that. It's been around for 1 year and 3 months now as well. I can't believe that. And by the way, guys, happy free Chippy Friday. Every Friday with Chippy for holders that post on Twitter and follow the things that we ask for, which is a picture of some fish and chips and a receipt. We refund the cost of their fish and chips using Chippy tokens and everything like that. You'll find it all through the Discord and anything like that. You can join the Discord. Just go on the deck screener. I'll link this deck screener in the video description for those people that are interested. But it's a great little community we've got going. With V2 launching and an NFT launch coming pretty soon, it's got a lot on the cards. We're building the next Pudgy Penguins here. Anyway, I promised we were going to talk about an altcoin, a specific altcoin that I believe is going to rise 5 to 10 times in the next 6 months. And that coin is ZK Sync. ZK Sync has had a failed altcoin launch, but they have delivered 100% on the technology that they promised around the time of launch. And these guys raised $250 million only at the start of this year. They were the most hyped up pre-sale of this year. They currently rank 129. This thing, they have such big budgets, such long runway. This thing is going to chug at some point, and its price down at 5 cents is just too low. It is listed on basically every single exchange that you can think of. It was the most hyped project earlier this year. Currently, no one is thinking about it. No one is talking about it. I'm the first person to mention this project in ages. But what it does have is a solid community and a hell of a lot of money, and you can do a lot of things with money to make things successful. So if you're wondering what do I buy or ape that's random and maybe might make me a double up or something like that, this is the one from my perspective, and I expect it to get to at least 30 cents. Might take 6 months, might take 12 months. But again, we're picking more solid, better developed, higher raised altcoins. Now, a very important point that I need to make about the altcoin market right now is that we're in the same place as we were during 2020, during 2021. There are projects from the previous bull market, like ZK Sync, that have raised an absolute ton of money. And they're sat on it right now wondering, when do we deploy? What do we do to get the price up? Do we do buybacks? What do we do to generate and stimulate interest? This is different than buying a coin mid-bull run that has already pumped, that you expect will continue to pump. This coin hasn't pumped yet. It's never pumped. It's only ever gone down. You are kind of buying a falling knife with something like this. And I'm not telling you should go out and buy it. I'm saying like this you need to research these things. Find the coins that raise the most money. Do they still have all of that money? Where is that money? Is it being deployed? Are they deploying the technology that they promised? How successful are they being? Have they got an engaged community? For me, ZK Sync meets pretty much all that criteria, which is why I'm making this segment about it. And in 6 months' time, I'll check back on this and I'll show you that I was right. But now we need to go through the support and resistance levels for breaking upwards and breaking downwards on Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Let's quickly run through that. And if you've made it this far into the video, drop a like. If you drop a like and leave a comment, you might win $10,000. We did so well on yesterday's video. So in yesterday's video, including my own like, we got 325 likes and 2,183 views. I'm telling you, if we get 4,000 views on a video, we'll do 1,000 likes. And if we do 1,000 likes, one of you guys walks away with $10,000. So drop a like on the video, leave a comment in the comment section below. But anyway, support and resistance levels, starting out with Bitcoin, we can see the resistance levels currently sitting at $112,000. A break of 112 is going to yield 115. As for a break to the downside, we will be looking for a break below $109,000, leading to an eventual decline, which would line up somewhere along this line here, but I think it's very unlikely, and I definitely favor the upside today. But $104,000 nonetheless remains the low side target on Bitcoin. On Ethereum, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on everything right now. There's no reason for me not to be bullish. But on Ethereum, the breakout target is much more difficult to identify because we are currently still within the range, but currently, technically, the long position target is from here. If you was looking to take a long here, you should definitely be looking to take a long at these points, because this is the entry that you should be wanting, because this is the highest range of liquidity within this range. The next highest range is up here around 4,597, so it should be worthwhile taking in a long position here in expectation of a bounce higher. When it comes to Solana, I'm very bullish on it. What can I say? Bit of a trend today. If we lose $200 again, like 200, I mean, to be fair, it's 199. You lose 199, we're dropping all the way down to 180, and it'll be a very aggressive and very quick drop. I don't think it'll happen, but if it does happen, if we lose 199, we will definitely drop down to 180. Now, on the flip side to that, I believe that the best time to go long has passed, and currently, if you're looking for a long position, it's longing all the way back up to the range of about 212,000, 213,000, somewhere along this line here before inevitable break 219. But what if you're trading Solana here like I am? You're trading within a range, so respect the range. When you get to the top of the range, take profit. Don't wait for higher. If it breaks the top of the range, wait for a retest, then enter on the retest. If it breaks below that, then you close and you take your loss around these levels. Like, that's the way that I trade. I always trade very tightly, especially when I'm starting to open a trade. But I can tell you now, if Solana breaks $220, it's gonna rock it. And your main takeaway from this video should be, it's time to be bullish, guys. Pretty much every single star that could align is aligning right now. That's not to say it can't all go wrong. Absolutely it can all go wrong, but I really don't think it will. So we'll see, shall we? By the time I've edited and posted this video, it might have all gone wrong. But if you're interested in trading, check out the links in today's video description for BLOFIN if you want a nice deposit bonus. Also, check out WEEX if you don't like KYC. On WEEX, you don't need KYC or a VPN. On BLOFIN, you also don't need KYC, but if you're in the UK, sometimes you might need a VPN, sometimes not. I mean, the site's completely random at it. I mean, I manage fine, but if you use a VPN, you already know how to do it. If you don't have a VPN, there's one linked in today's video description. So have a great day, everybody. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.